The jerk is the hardest of the Olympic lifts. While professionals can make it look effortless, it takes years to master. In this video, I break down 3 of the most common mistakes beginners tend to make in the jerk from videos submitted in my free Form Checks Discord, which you can find linked in the description below. All right, let's get into it. All right, so the first lift that we're going to take a look at here is a 225 clean and jerk from Bracopter in the Discord group. And we're just going to be focusing on the jerk today, so let's see what we got here. Good rack position. Looks like a good stance. You're moving feet around a lot. Okay. All right. So the big thing that I'm seeing, your dip and drive actually looks pretty solid. You're not really drifting forward. You might be dipping a little too low, but really, I mean, that would be nitpicky. But the split position, that is the biggest thing here. So the main thing that I'm seeing is this front foot is not going out far enough because this front shin has a forward angle, right? Ideally in the jerk, we want to be straight up and down with this shin. So that doesn't mean that you need to have your balance shifted back at all to get this shin vertical. It just means that we need to step this front foot out a little further. So one cue that I really think about for this is reach. Reach the front foot out, step out. Any of those will do. It's just going to help you get into a longer split position. You'll be able to settle and stabilize a little bit better so that you're not quite as wobbly in the recovery. Now, along with that, with this longer split position, you are kind of losing your brace a little bit, it looks like. So I'd recommend really trying to focus on staying tight and reaching up into that bar throughout the entire recovery, right? We don't want to be losing our core if we're also not in a great split position. We don't really want to lose our core ever, but that is a big thing for maintaining the recovery of the jerk. A lot of people think about just getting under it, and if you get under it, it's done. But really, the lift's not over until you've recovered. So really try and make sure that you're fighting through that entire recovery. Let's go ahead and take a look at somebody who does that really well. And that is Lasha Talakadze. This is a young Lasha, 2015, so he's 22 at the time, with a 247 kilo clean and jerk. Let's take a look at it real quick. What a beautiful clean. I know that we're focusing on jerks today, but I just want to say that was beautiful. Straight up and down throughout the whole dip and drive. But look at that split position. Take a look at it again. Land. He's got an almost completely perfect vertical front shin. I mean, this is a perfect jerk split position. He's got this vertical shin. He's got his abs are staying tight. He's got this back knee bent. He's got his heel up off the ground a little bit. I mean, this is textbook. This is exactly what we want. So I would think about reaching that front foot out a little bit further in your jerk, and that should solve most of your problems. The rest of them, maybe focus on pausing in your split position so you can remind yourself to brace again before you recover. That's about it. Right, up next, we've got this jerk from Wesley. Now, it's a little bit hard to see with somebody walking right in front here, but we can see a good amount. Let's watch that again. So we can see in the dip and drive, we can see the dip. And we can see he's super kind of loose in that split position. But the main thing that I'm seeing that I would want to work on is the whole trajectory of your body, right? We could see from the dip, everything for you is moving forward, not up, right? So when that happens, you're always going to kind of end up in this like more overextended split position, which isn't net. Like, this split position looks pretty solid, but it makes it more likely that you're going to be chasing lifts forward or more unstable in the catch. We just want to try and make sure that we are moving as efficiently as possible. So from here, the bottom of the dip, I think you might be dipping just a hair too low because it's causing you to drift forward, and then from there, everything goes forward. Where I want to see straight up and down in that dip and drive. You get into a good split position, though this back leg might be a little too far back. I bet if you got that a little bit closer, you might be able to keep your core and glute engaged a little bit more, so you're a little bit more solid in that split position. But Yeah, that would be the biggest thing. So let's take a look at somebody who does a dip and drive really well. So this is Kwon Sing Chun with a 141 kilo clean and jerk. All right, really solid clean. See this jerk. What a monster. Well, probably one of my favorite technique of any lifter. It truly really good. So we can see in the bottom of the dip, man, she's going so fast through it. my thing won't even catch up. Wow. You can see just how upright she's staying. Let's watch this again. Might have to watch this in fast motion. But pay attention to her back angle, right? She's not leaning her chest forward. She's not sending her hips back. It's knees forward, body stays straight up and down. Boom. And then the other thing that I like that she does really well is she stays so active in the recovery of this split that when she catches, boom, locked in tight, owns every inch of that recovery. One step with the other foot. That's it. Super straightforward. Let's watch that in slow. Here we go again. So we've got readjust the hands after the clean. Take an extra second. Get a big deep breath. Re-brace. And then dip. So straight up and down. That is exactly what we want to see. Catches and then super tight and controlled through the whole recovery. She is pushing up against that bar with not just her arms but her core as well. She's staying so compact there that she doesn't allow her body to have any wiggle room. And that's exactly what you want. All right, great lifting from Kwon. And the last lift that we're going to look at today is a lift from Zach, who is on one of our OlyStrong weightlifting teams, which you can find a free week trial of linked in the description below. Let's see what we've got. So we're doing a pause jerk plus jerk complex here. The pause jerk is a great complex for correcting exactly the issue that we're going to see here. We're going to see a forward dip and then a forward drive out of that bottom of the dip. Right, so the pause jerk, if you perform it correctly, can be a great way to fix this. But first, we need to know what we're doing wrong. So what we can see is how he initiates the dip. He's initiating by sending his hips back and his knees forward. He's initiating like he was going to do a front squat. However, the jerk is not the same movement as a front squat. We need to be thinking about keeping our hips under us and pushing knees forward and maybe out to the sides a little bit, at least in the direction of the toes. And then you can see he almost kind of does a double dip as well. Watch this again. From here, here's the bottom of his dip. See it again. So we go dip, and then shifts forward again to create that drive. The goal on this is to limit how much weight you can use by correcting that dip position. So I want you to try and think about sitting straight down, like push those knees forward out to the sides a little bit. Torso is completely on top of the hips. We're not sending the hips back, not like a squat. Then from there, we need to drive straight up, where out of the bottom of this dip, he's kind of moving his hips forward a little bit as well. And so we're going to see just everything be a little bit forward. Now the split position we could take a look at, right? I would focus on the dip, fix that first, because anything that happens later on in the lift is usually a result of the dip. So focus on the dip. But some things in the split position that we could fix. One, again, is that short stepping the front foot, right? If this is our knee, this is where our ankle should be, right? But we're a little bit behind it. So we need to reach that front foot out a little bit more. But then the other thing we want to take a look at is this back leg. Good back foot, right? The back heel is off the ground. We could probably get a little bit more knee bend here though, right? If we were to step this front foot out and keep the same amount of bend here, we'd probably end up a little overextended. We want to drive this knee down a little bit more, And that should solve most of your problems. So pause jerks are a great way to do that. One thing that you can do to help is pause not just in the dip, but pause in the split. And in both of those pauses, correct your position, right? If your pause is not in the right spot, don't go forward with the lift. Correct your pause and then finish the lift. That will improve your technique and make you get more out of your pauses. And then when you pause in your split position, feel the balance out. If it feels like you're not in the right spot, correct your balance and then recover. And if you're doing this with light enough weight, for complexes like you should be, this should help a lot. Now let's go ahead and take a look at somebody who does a really good job with the pause jerk. That is John Stang. So he's doing a little pause clean plus a pause jerk complex. Now, one thing that you can see him do really well is he stays straight up and down in the bottom of this dip, right? Knees are going forward, hips are not going back, they're going straight down. And then split position, perfect. Vertical front shin, bent back knee, back heels off the ground. He owns the recovery. Boom. That's all you want. So I would recommend, focus on the dip. That's going to give you the biggest benefit, and try and make your dip as completely upright as John does here. Boom. Just like that. That's everything for this video, but if you want your lifts reviewed, then make sure to join my free Discord linked in the description below. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.